Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Easy English Listening Podcast. My name is Alex, and I am very happy to share a new travel story with you. Today, I want to tell you about my amazing trip to Qazvin, a beautiful, old, and very special city in Iran. I visited Iran last month because I love history and culture. Many friends told me, Alex, you should visit Qazvin. It is a peaceful city with a long history. So after a few days in Tehran, I decided to go there. I took a bus. And after about 2 hours, I arrived in Qazvin. When I arrived, the city felt calm and friendly. The streets were clean, and the people smiled at me. I felt welcome. Qazvin is not a big modern city, but it is full of beautiful old buildings, traditional markets, and historic places. It was also an important city on the Silk Road, the famous trade route between Asia and Europe. One of these travelers was the very famous explorer Marco Polo. More than 700 years ago, Marco Polo traveled across Iran. He visited Qazvin and wrote about it in his book. When I learned this, I felt excited. I thought, wow, I am walking in the same place as Marco Polo. He was here long before me. It was an amazing feeling. My first stop in Qazvin was the Traditional Bazaar. It is one of the oldest bazaars in Iran. When I entered the bazaar, I felt like I traveled back in time. The shops were full of colors and smells. I saw carpets, nuts, sweets, spices, handmade crafts, and beautiful decorations. There were many sounds around me, people talking, sellers calling customers, and the soft sound of footsteps on the old stone floor. One shopkeeper smiled at me and said in simple English, "Welcome to Qazvin." I smiled back and said thank you. Even though his English was not perfect, we understood each other. This made me feel very happy and comfortable. I tried a sweet called baklava Qazvin, and it was amazing. Sweet, soft, and full of flavor. I bought some to take home. Next, I walked to the al-Saltaneh Caravanserai, one of the largest and most beautiful caravanserais in Iran. A long time ago, Silk Road travelers stayed here. Maybe even people who knew Marco Polo stopped in this place. The building was impressive. It had tall brick walls, long hallways, and a big open courtyard. Today, the Caravanserai has cafes, art shops, and small galleries, but it still feels old and peaceful. I sat in a small cafe inside the courtyard and ordered a cup of tea. The weather was cool, and the sound of people walking was soft and relaxing. I closed my eyes for a moment and imagined how travelers felt 700 years ago. It was a special moment for me. After the Caravanserai, I walked to the Jameh Mosque of Qazvin. This mosque is one of the oldest in Iran. The building is very beautiful, with big arches, tall doors, and blue tiles. The courtyard was open and quiet. I loved the peaceful feeling there. I took many photos because every corner looked special. When I stood inside the mosque, I felt connected to history. The walls were old but very strong, like they carried many stories from the past. My next destination was the Chehel Sotoun Palace. It is smaller than the one in Isfahan, but I liked it very much. The garden around the palace was green and calm. Inside, There were old paintings and beautiful decorations on the walls. I walked slowly and looked at everything carefully. The rooms felt like a window into another time. I imagined kings and visitors walking in the same halls many years ago. The next day, I left the city for a short trip to Alamut Valley. The road was full of mountains, green fields, and fresh air. It was very beautiful. When we arrived, I saw the famous Alamut Castle high on a rocky mountain. The climb was not easy, but it was fun. When I reached the top, the view was incredible. I could see the mountains, valleys, and sky all during my trip. I often thought about Marco Polo. He traveled thousands of kilometers with no modern roads, no buses, and no phones. Yet he came to Qazvin and wrote about its people, culture, and beauty. I felt proud to visit a city with such a strong connection to world history. I also felt lucky because today it is easy and safe to visit Qazvin and enjoy its amazing places. My trip to Qazvin was wonderful. The people were kind, the food was delicious, the history was everywhere. I learned many new things, and I felt very happy. If you want to see a peaceful city with culture, history, and nature, I strongly recommend visiting Qazvin. You can walk in a traditional bazaar, explore old buildings, enjoy local food, and even follow the footsteps of Marco Polo. Thank you so much for listening to today's Easy English Listening podcast. I hope you enjoyed my story. If you want more easy stories for listening practice, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. See you in the next episode, and keep learning English every day.